I spent some time recently with Tony Robbins' number one trainer, Vicente Pasarello. This guy does more than 400 high energy presentations and workshops per year, more than any of Tony Robbins' other trainers. But there was a time when he was washing cars for a living, making about $700 a month. One night around 2 o'clock in the morning, he said he saw a commercial for a Tony Robbins event, and something in him told him, I need to be there. He didn't have the money, so he actually asked his mom if he could use her credit card, and she said yes. But what she told him afterwards stuck with me. She told him that she'd always known that there was more inside of him. She was just happy that maybe he was finally starting to see what she had seen all along. And that started a conversation about identity that I've been thinking about ever since. Because his circumstances didn't change first. He changed first. And even after that, he had another identity issue to work through. See, English is his second language. Spanish is his first. And he wondered if he could really become a top-level trainer speaking broken English. Maybe he needed to fix that first. Maybe he needed to sound like everybody else. Until eventually he realized he was the only top-level bilingual trainer that Tony had. The thing that he thought might disqualify him actually allowed him to walk into rooms and serve audiences that other trainers couldn't. And I love that because changing your identity doesn't necessarily mean becoming somebody else. Sometimes it just means finally recognizing what's already valuable about who you are and then becoming disciplined enough to do something about it. So, of course, I started thinking about this in terms of business. Let's say you're an agent consistently making $100,000 a year. You're probably not accidentally making $100,000 a year. There are things that you do consistently that produce that result. And there are things that you consistently don't do that produce it too. How often you prospect, how well you follow up, how you spend your mornings, how quickly you respond, what you tolerate and what you don't tolerate, what you avoid, how you behave when nobody's watching. Put all those things together, and there's your $100,000 business. So if you tell me, I want to make $300,000, maybe the first question isn't, what else do I need to do? Because if we're being real, most of us already know a lot of what we should already be doing. Maybe the real question is, who would I have to become for $300,000 to be a normal result of how I operate? What does that person do consistently that I currently do occasionally? What does that person no longer tolerate? What does that person say no to? What do they do when they don't feel like doing it? And this is where it got uncomfortable for me, because there are things that I say that I want, and then there are activities required of the person who actually gets them. Those two things aren't always aligned in my own life. But then I started thinking, there's a problem with this whole idea. You may have even heard that before. Who do you need to become in order to make that amount of money? Because what if you choose the wrong identity? What if you say, I want to become a multi-million-dollar producer? And you do. You become relentless, disciplined, competitive. You outwork everybody. You never miss a call. You never miss an opportunity. And eventually, you hit the number. But somewhere along the way, your marriage suffered. Your kids stopped expecting you to be around. Your health deteriorated. You stopped calling your friends. Your faith became something that you just kind of squeezed in when you had time. You made more money than you've ever made and built a life you don't even want. So did you win? Because income doesn't determine identity. It doesn't determine character, and it definitely doesn't determine whether you've built a successful life. We all know people who have made extraordinary amounts of money, whose lives we wouldn't trade anything for. So maybe even asking, who do I need to become to make $1 million is still too small of a question. I started asking myself something different. I've started asking, who do I need to become to build the life that I actually want? because I absolutely want to make more money. Don't get it twisted. I want an extraordinary business. I want wealth. I want impact. I want freedom. I'm not going to even pretend that those things don't matter to me, but I also want to be a great husband. I want my kids to know their dad. I want deep friendships. I want to be healthy. I want my faith to become stronger as my success grows, not weaker. I want to give more. I want to serve more, travel, laugh, be present, actually enjoy some of this life that I'm working so hard to build. So maybe being made for more doesn't just mean making more. Maybe it means becoming more disciplined, more generous, more courageous, more present, more faithful, more intentional, more capable of serving other people. And yeah, maybe making a whole lot of money too. Because I don't want to become the person capable of achieving my goals if I have to sacrifice the person I actually want to be to get them. I want to become someone that's capable of producing extraordinary results without sacrificing the things that make the results worth having. I don't have it all figured out. I'm working through all of this myself. That's why I'm sharing it with you. But that conversation left me with a question that I haven't been able to shake. And maybe it's worth you asking yourself too. Who are you becoming in pursuit of what you want? And if you actually get everything you're chasing, will you like that person? Because maybe the goal isn't simply building a bigger business. Maybe it's to become the kind of person capable of building a life you actually want to live. Now that's an identity worth chasing. I'm Mike Collier. This is Talking Head Tuesday. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Pop in, burning like this, ain't checking my wrist.